What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here, bringing you some more Series 12 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. Continuing to use some rental teams. Today, we are using this really interesting Dialga Yveltal team built by our really good friend, Kanto Clark. So talking a little bit about the team, he has a bunch of rental teams, which I highly recommend checking out. The reason this one stood out to me is I think it's a really interesting pair. I think Dialga offers a lot, and so does Yveltal, and I've seen them in different places, but I've never really seen them together. So kind of seeing what they can do. So first of all, we do have Dialga, right? This is a 4-attack Dialga with Life Orb. So really, this is going to be sort of our main Dynamax, right? Like there's really no question about that. We want to get Dialga in a position where it can just hit really hard. And yeah, it does that. So next up, we do have Yveltal with Assault Vest. So I think that this is really cool, right? You do have access to Sucker Punch and Foul Play. You also have really good support with Snarl and Oblivion Wing. So overall, a really solid option. Also, another Dynamax being able to fire off max airstreams as well as max darkness to help Dialga hit really hard by lowering an opponent's special defense. So next up is Porygon 2. So Porygon 2 is pretty standard. We all know what it does. I think that this is a really good choice on the team because we do have a really fast mode, right? Like we can go for speed control via Tailwind as well as with Trick Room, and this is really sort of our Trick Room option. Next up, we do have Rillaboom. So this is a really cool Rillaboom, right? It has knockoff. A lot of people have opted for high horsepower for that Zacian matchup, but because of the fact that we have things like Dialga with Earth Power as well as Gastrodon, I don't necessarily think you needed that. And I think that having access to knockoff can really sort of put you in a good position. Also having access once again to that max darkness if we need it for Dialga or Yveltal is really important. Next up is Tornadus. So once again, a really standard Pokemon here. We do have Taunt, which is really helpful against really supportive oriented Pokemon. So I think that definitely can come in handy. And then finally, everyone's favorite blue slug is Gastrodon. We all know what it does. It has Yawn, it has Earth Power, it has Ice Beam, it has Protect. It has leftovers to last really long. So that's the team. I really am excited for it. Definitely make sure to check out Kanto's channel. If you haven't, make sure to check out his teams for the month. We have the paste on the screen, or we have the code on the screen. We have the paste in the description. And with that, let's just get rocking and rolling and move into the first game. All right, battle number 1, and it is Xerneas Yveltal. It is Xerneas, Suicune, Amoonguss, Sableye, Crocodile, and Yveltal. I like Dialga and Porygon 2. You don't have a good way to deal with Amoonguss is my issue. I want Rillaboom for sure. What does Yveltal really do here? That's the question. Do we get more benefit from Gastrodon? I think I want to do this. I think this puts on a lot of pressure. The big sort of risk is an Amoonguss with, what's it called? Amoonguss with Xerneas being able to set up, right? They can just go immediately for a Geomancy, whereas we get redirected into their Amoonguss. Oh wait, I don't care. I have Rillaboom. So I think Rillaboom is a good lead here. This is just a little bit tricky because of the fact that we do not have Protect on Dialga. We also cannot stop, what's it called? We cannot stop a Spore with any sort of terrains. So a little bit of an awkward position, but I think it's still fine. I think Porygon 2 definitely is a good option too to have in the back, right? Like we do have access to Eerie Impulse, which can be huge against 2 special attackers, as we are going to see the Xerneas and the Amoonguss. So this is kind of what I was afraid of, right? And so now we have a lot of options in terms of what we can do. I think going for a Steel Spike is also, like, honestly not the end of the world, right? If we want to go for a Steel Spike into Xerneas as well as go for a Grassy Glide, we could say that Xerneas is going to Protect and they're going to try and put my Dialga to sleep. And so what we could do is we could so I think what a good mid-ground play is going for a Steel Spike into Xerneas and going for a Fake Out into the Amoonguss. That way that if you decide to Protect with Xerneas, we do have the ability just to like not immediately lose, and then we can sort of pivot and then go from there, right? Like if you are protecting, it means you're not setting up, so we do get a full powered Steel Spike into you, which is really great. And then we can go for just other ways of dealing with this Amoonguss. I think we might want to go for an Earth Power just to help Rillaboom have a better chance, as we are going to see actually no what's it called? No Protect come out, which is huge, and also we're faster, which means we get a full-powered Steel Spike into the Xerneas, which is going to just pick up the one-hit knockouts. That's really great for us, right? Like we just immediately get rid of this super big threat right off the bat. We don't even let it set up. Interesting to see that it is so slow that my Dialga does outspeed it, but we are a pretty fast Dialga, right? Like 228 speed is not something you typically see, and obviously I think my opponent was really saying, hey, I'm going to do this, and it's not going to work out for you. So I'm glad we were able to pull that off, and it looks like my opponent is going to switch in, and it is going to be into that Yveltal. And so what I think the thing to do right now is, because we have access to Porygon 2 in the back, I want to get rid of this Amoonguss. So I think my best bet is, let's think, this is 260 versus 225. So I really want to go for, I'm going to click Hailstorm into the Yveltal. That way, if it gets redirected, that's fine. And then I'm going to go for a knockoff. We're probably just going to eat. Okay, so what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to go for a Protect. I do expect us to probably eat an air. I'm going to go for a knockoff onto the Yveltal as well. My thought process is that I want to try and get rid of the item, right? If it's an Assault Vest, that can be really huge to get rid of. Also, if it is, what's it called? A Life Orb, I think it just puts us in a strong position. We do want to try and get a Porygon 2, though, to go for those Eerie Impulses, as we're going to see, interesting, once again, we're going to see no redirection, and more importantly, Rillaboom is going to live, right? And so that means that we get rid of whatever item this Yveltal is holding. I'm guessing it's going to be an Assault Vest, but we'll see, especially, yeah, given the fact that we didn't see any sort of Life Orb chip. I really believe it is going to be that Assault Vest, and so we're also sort of wasting... Oh, it is a weakness policy. So we were very wrong. So that's bad. Knockoff going to come out here doing absolutely nothing as a result of the fact that you are a weakness policy. You are going to put my Dialga to sleep, but like, what is Yveltal? I mean, okay, Yveltal's at +2. I was gonna say, what is Yveltal really doing here? It's doing a lot. Rillaboom is going to survive. I think what we need to do is, I think we just need to put on damage onto Amoonguss, or we can just glide, right? Like Yveltal is so low. I'm fine to click a hit here. I'm just gonna go for the Grassy Glide into Yveltal if I can get it, just because, like I said, every little bit of damage counts. It's not going to end up mattering. Yeah, like, look at how little that did. That's super frustrating. Also, a little bit unfortunate from the fact that Dialga has Ice Beam, not Blizzard. So, right, like, having Blizzard... Oh, you're going to Pollen Puff. That's 100% what's going to happen. We're going to see a self-Pollen Puff here. Blizzard, like I said, would have been really great. Pollen Puff, yeah, going to come out here. It's going to heal up the Yveltal. So I'm trying to think of how we can break through it at this point. I chose not to bring my Yveltal, which ended up being a huge mistake. I think I have to bring out probably Porygon 2. I think I have to bring out Porygon 2 and go for the Eerie. I have to go for Eerie. I think I don't have another choice. I think I need to Ice Beam I need to just get rid of this Amoonguss more than anything. We're gonna trace the Dark Aura, so that's actually really bad. Because it means that what's it called? Their dark moves are gonna do even more damage. And so I don't actually think we can break through at this point. I'm gonna click Ice Beam into the Amoonguss. I'm gonna go for an Eerie into the Yveltal. I don't really have a better option at this point. We're gonna see the Darkness come out. This might just straight up one-shot. It looks like, yeah, it is gonna one-shot. So definitely a little bit of an unfortunate start. I think we really needed to focus down the Amoonguss, and we just didn't. And I think that was a mistake. As yeah, the Spore at +2 is going to have the Amoonguss be faster than Porygon, right? So at this point, we're literally a sitting duck. Sorry. Yeah, because at this point, right, like what we bring out Gastrodon. Given the fact that we saw the Assault Vest, this indicates to me that you probably have moves like Dark Pulse. And so what Gastrodon is really not going to do anything here. It can go for an Ice Beam onto the Amoonguss, but that is not going to really help pull us out of this situation. And also, yeah, we saw that Amoonguss is faster at this point, so we can click. So what we do is we click Protect, and we hope we wake up, and we need a Trick Room. In all honesty, we need a first turn wake on Porygon, and we need to set up Trick Room. That lets us put on pressure and really have a chance of doing anything in this game. So I think my opponent did position very well. We are going to see the Yveltal Protect, so that's actually really huge. This suggests to me you're just going straight for a Spore into the Gastrodon, right? I can't really see you do anything else, as we are going to see, yep, the Spore is going to come out here into the Gastrodon. Do we get the Wake Up from Porygon 2? We don't, so that's unfortunate. We will get a little bit more Hail Chip. I think what we have to do is we have to try for the Trick Room. It is sort of our only way to pivot out of this situation. I really wish we had Blizzard. I mean, having Blizzard on Dialga didn't matter. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what we could have done differently. I think, yeah, we got rid of the Xerneas so quickly. We just don't have a good way of dealing with Amoonguss, right? Like Amoonguss. Yeah, we just don't have a good way of dealing with Amoonguss. We're gonna see the Rage Powder come out, which is fine. You're probably just going to one-shot whatever you want with Dialga. As you're gonna see the dual Wing Beat. So this is a physical Dialga. I mean, not a Dialga, a physical Yveltal, which is good to see, I guess. It's not. We're gonna get the Ice Beam off. We do get the Freeze. Okay, this is huge. This is an absolute game changer. Getting the Freeze means that there is a chance that we can double up into this Yveltal, which we absolutely need, right? We need to get an Ice Beam if we want any chance. If we have any chance of coming back into this game, it is right now being able to get an Ice Beam and a Foul Play off into this Yveltal. So we need to get this. We need to get a Foul Play. Like I said, so it really is going to come down to how long is this Yveltal or this Amoonguss going to stay frozen. There is a chance, right? Like it does. We have no idea of knowing. We're going to see the Amoonguss withdraw. So that's even better, right? As they are going to bring out a Suicune. So Suicune, not really sure what it wants to do. We're going to see the Yveltal go for a Protect. And so this is better. We don't have to worry about redirection. I need to double up into Yveltal. I'm fine to potentially lose Gastrodon, right? Actually, I can't even see a world in which Suicune KOs. So I am going to go for the Ice Beam as well as the Foul Play once again. That way, it works out. We could see the switch into the Amoonguss, right? Trying to say, hey, I don't want the speed drops anymore, and I want to be able to move first under Trick Room. As we are just going to see the Sucker Punch. That's an option that my opponent has to get out of this. You know, I didn't even consider that, and for that, I am going to be pretty heavily punished, as we will luckily be able to get rid of this Yveltal, as we are going to see the Snarl come out from the Suicune. So this is where things get really complicated, right? Like this endgame is an Amoonguss, which can just put me to sleep next to a Suicune, which has access to damage. The Amoonguss luckily is, like I said, frozen, so we do need to figure out how we're going to do things. And I think at this point the plan is to just slam the A button and click Foul Play into the Suicune and hope that the Amoonguss stays asleep long enough for me to be able to win this. I do think we should recover probably next turn. We're going to see perfect. We do get the freeze, which is awesome. Foul Play going to come out into this Suicune, going to do okay. We should not. Okay, so that's really funny. That's awesome. I had no idea that interaction even existed. I'm going to try to Eerie Impulse. I'm not going to get it. Obviously, I'm about to fall asleep. That's really funny. That's really cool. I thought that they had misclicked, but I did not know that a Scald will thaw out a frozen Pokemon. So definitely props to my opponent for that one. Obviously, if I had known they had Sucker Punch, I mean, Sucker Punch should have been obvious. We're going to see screens on Suicune. So I don't think I can win this. I have to Pollen Puff into the Amoonguss pretty indefinitely. I do want to get an Eerie Impulse onto Suicune though, just because of the fact that I want to lower its special attack. We are going to see the Scald come out, probably just doubling up into the Porygon, and yeah, that Porygon is taking quite a bit of damage. We are going to fire off the Eerie Impulse. They're probably just clicking Spore at this point. I don't see a world in which we can realistically win, right? Yeah, this damage onslaught is just too much. I'm gonna save my opponent some time with that. So I think they did play well. They did position Yveltal really well. Amoonguss ended up being way more of a hassle than I thought, and I thought like, oh, we're in such a good position. We got rid of Xerneas turn 1, but no, the real threat was Yveltal, and yeah, that weakness policy for sure. I think if we had targeted down, what's it called, the Amoonguss and not worried about the Yveltal, right? Like, it's not really doing that much into Dialga, and yes, we will lose, what's it called, our Rillaboom, but I don't think it mattered in the grand scheme of things. And I also think that Yveltal having it instead of Gastrodon probably would have been beneficial. Probably not really. I was going to say for the Snarl pressure, but the Snarl ended up obviously not mattering because they're physical. So either way, I think my opponent did play really well. It is just unfortunate that things worked out, but let's just keep rocking and rolling and move to the next one. All right, battle number 2, and it is Solgaleo Zacian. Solgaleo, Torkoal, Indeedee Male, Gastrodon, Rotom-Mow, and Zacian. So, I don't know what to do here. I like Torn. I mean, they could Trick Room. We have Taunt. But you have an Indeedee Male, so that doesn't really help us. We have no Intimidate. I like Dialga, Yveltal. I think Dialga, Yveltal is probably my best bet. We could... What? I think I need Gastrodon for this Zacian. And the question now is, what do we bring in the back? I think Porygon 2. Let's bring Porygon 2. This is a little bit of a tricky spot for sure. But I think that this can really sort of help us out. I think this is just a weird team. I have no idea how to approach it. But we're gonna see here, and I think it really depends on what they want to lead. We are going to see the Indeedee Male with the Zacian, and so the important thing is Indeedee Male does not have words. It does not have Follow Me. That is exclusively for Indeedee Female, and so we do have the ability just to go straight for an Earth Power into the Zacian with no fear, not no fear, but like very little fear of no fear of redirection. There is no fear of redirection. So I think it's fine just to go for an immediate sort of Max Quake into the Zacian. I'm gonna go for a Foul Play 2, just in case. This is a little bit awkward, just given the fact that if this is Play Rough Zacian, we're in really bad. If it's Play Rough Zacian, we lose Yveltal, but we get rid of their Zacian, and I think in that regard, it's worth it. This could be like Imprison Indeedee Male, or it could be Helping Hand, going for the Behemoth Blade into the Yveltal, which if we lose Yveltal, it's fine. It is going to be Helping Hand, so probably a Behemoth Blade targeting down Yveltal, just trying to get rid of it. We're going to actually see the Sacred Sword come out, so that is a lot of damage. I don't like that. I really don't. We are going to fire off a Max Quake, though. We are going to, luckily, get the knockout onto the Zacian, and we will survive after the Life Orb, which is even more important. And this means that we do get access to a big Foul Play onto this into Mail, and we get a special defense boost onto our Yveltal, which is not really important, right? Their other restricted, I think, is Sol Galeo, as that is very good damage across the board. Right, if we do see a Sol Galeo, it's fine. We have foul play in the back as well as foul play on the field, which we have revealed, right? So you don't necessarily want to do anything to proc a weakness policy out of fear, as we are going to see Sol Galeo is going to come out here. So that's totally fine with me. Important to note is the speeds, and I think that what we can do is we can go for a Max Quake, as well as go for a foul play, just to say, hey, if you are going to set up, we're going to really stop you. We should see, we are going to see the max here. Porygon 2, though, I think is a really great option to have in the back. We could see a helping hand into an attack into Sol Galeo, right? I mean, not into Sol Galeo, into Yveltal, which is something to fear, like a helping hand max lightning. But that does let us get a Quake off, which is not necessarily okay. There's that. There is that. That's fine, right? We should get off. And okay, so we're gonna. Okay, so interesting is that Dialga is faster than the Sol Galeo. I really hope that Yveltal is slower. Otherwise, proccing a weakness policy. Oh no, we don't have Rillaboom. I was gonna say we could switch and go for a Sucker Punch. We are gonna live. We are gonna fire off the foul play first, which is going to be huge damage. But there is the weakness policy. But what's good about this, right, is you are slower than both of my Pokemon, and you can only KO one. We are going to see the Rock Fall, so this suggests to me you are going into Yveltal, which, there you go. Yveltal obviously is not going to survive that, but we do now have access to a Max Quake, as well as we can bring out Porygon 2, which has access to Foul Play as well, so that really is going to be something scary. So yeah, Porygon 2 is going to come out here. The big question now is, can Dialga KO this Sol Galeo? It is so low that the answer in my mind should be yes, but you never really know. As we are going to see the last one, it is going to be the Torkoal. So Torkoal is something to definitely be wary of. We do have +2 special. I mean, Dialga has like 10 HP left, so completely irrelevant. I do want to Max Quake into the Sol Galeo. There it is. Sol Galeo, as well as go for a foul play onto it, just in case. It is fun. We could see the Max Guard. When you cried, I'd wipe away all of your tears. When you scream, I'd fight away all of your fears. That might just not even be how the song goes. Yeah, a Quake into the Torkoal would have been great. We do have Slug, though. If I can click it with controller drift, I think this is still fine, right? You can only attack into one, either Slug or into Porygon 2. So I'm gonna go for an Earth Power here, as well as go for a foul play. I think like I said, we are guaranteed to get one. So I think you have to target. I think you have to target down the Porygon 2. We are going to see the Mind Storm come out. This should be, like I said, into... Yep, it is going to be into P2. I would have liked to live. I think that would have been really helpful. We are going to fire off the Earth Power. This is not going to be enough for a KO because Gastrodon is terrible. We're going to see a... Okay. So, yeah. I can't stop that. It's just gonna... Yep. Bye, Gastrodon. So that was unfortunate for sure. Obviously, the end would have been the same, even if we knocked out the Sol Galeo. I think the Protect was really obvious. Max Quaking would have been a really big deal. I think, obviously, if we had knocked out the Torkoal, which we definitely would have, barring a Focus Sash, we would have been just in an incredible position, but it is what it is. But yeah, let's just keep rocking and rolling and play one more. All right, last battle of the day, and it is Lunadon. It is Lunala, Groudon, Incineroar, Charizard, Grimmsnarl, Venusaur. So I think that Torn is huge here. I really like Torn Dialga. I think Yveltal and then Rillaboom in the back is probably my best 4 here. So let's stick with this, right? We have Taunt with Tornadus, which can really come in handy, right? Being able to potentially stop a Sleep Powder from Venusaur. and also help with that. We do have Tailwind so that we can go faster than things. We don't have Rockfall on Dialga, unfortunately, but we do have Ice Beam, so we can Hailstorm and change the weather against Charizard to try and stop the amount of damage that it would do with Solar Power. So I think that this is sort of a fine option, right? If we do see a Lunala, we can try and Trick Room to stop, or we can Taunt to try and stop a Trick Room, because I think that they do have the advantage in Trick Room because of the fact that they do have Groudon, they do have Lunala, they do have Grimmsnarl, they have Incin, whereas we are bringing a very sort of fast core. We do have Rillaboom, which can be very helpful, right? Like, I think we should potentially save our max for the late game, but I also don't think that Dialga maxing early is necessarily the end of the world. So we'll kind of hold off on things and see how they go. My opponent looks like they are going to not timeout, which is, you know, always a really nice situation to be in. But let's kind of see what they choose to go for here and how we can kind of play around it. I do think, though, that our lead is really solid. We do have to, like, quote-unquote fear an Incin, but I don't think that that's the end of the world. As we are going to see Incin Charizard. Okay, so Incin Charizard is fine to me because of the fact that, let's think about this, right? If you go for a Fake Out onto Torn, that means that you are not switching in your Groudon. So I still think the safest play, we could also Quake Incin. That's not necessarily the end of the world. I think, though, that going, like I said, for a Tailwind here, as well as going for we could Hailstorm. I think Quake into the Incin is fine. Right, like I said, if you switch out into Groudon, we already see the Charizard switch out, so not what I expected at all. So the Groudon is going to come in, just not in the spot that I expected. That's fine with me, right? We can go for big max Wormwinds. We know that you don't have a Fairy on the team, so that's cool. As we will be able to set up Tailwind, which is I mean, we might not because the Incin is staying in. If the Incin obviously goes for a Fake Out, that's huge too, right? It means that you're not parting shotting, and we get to stagger our Tailwind for a turn. So that also can be really helpful. So I think there is the desire, right, to go for a Fake Out. As we're going to see no Fake Out, so yeah, probably a parting shot coming out from this Incineroar into the Dialga. We are going to also see the Sugar Berry reveal, which is not the end of the world. My opponent does have two special attackers between Charizard and probably Luna. Oh my, that is still a ton of damage. So that's cool. We should probably see, like I said, a parting shot into the Dialga, but even then, like, look at how much that did. I'm fine with that. We could see the Charizard come out here. If Charizard comes out, I do want to Hailstorm, just to, like I said, make it so we are in a good position. I probably also want to potentially go for a Taunt into the Groudon. I know that a lot, especially nowadays, are carrying moves like Bulk Up and Sword Stance, and being able to stop things like a Protect is also really nice. But we do definitely want to change the weather if we expect to see Charizard come out because of the fear of that Chi-Max Wildfire, just being able to absolutely decimate with the Sun and the Solar Power boost. And if we can significantly reduce the amount of power it does, right? Like, Charizard is very underwhelming without that option. And so being able to sort of take it away, I think really works in our favor. As we're going to see Venusaur. So not what I expected at all. I think, though, a Taunt is fine into the Venusaur, as well as going for a Wormwind onto it. I am afraid of Groudon at this point, but I think, like I said, going for the Taunt to say, hey, if you want to Sleep Powder, that's fine with me. You're not going to get it. Unless it's Mental or Venusaur. Like, that could be a thing. We do have Yveltal in the back, so we probably should focus down a little bit harder on the Groudon, right? Like, we do have good means of dealing with, we have Rillaboom, so that's going to be fine. We're going to see no max from the Venusaur, so this really suggests to me, right, you're going for a Sleep Powder, as we are going to be able to fire off the Wormwind first, which is a really big deal to see how that speed works. Not enough for the KO as a result of that parting shot, but we could most likely, like I said, see Groudon maybe going for a Bulk Up. I'm hoping not a Swords Dance, probably a Precipice Blades. Yeah, we are going to see the no Sleep Powder, and the Groudon is in fact going to be the Swords Dance variety. So not something we want to see. I think, though, that we should at this point go for I'm going to go for a Hurricane. It is 50%, but it's also fine. Max Warmwind is going to be... I think we need to Warmwind. Actually, no, let's Hailstorm into the Groudon. That way we also do get a little bit of chip off, which I think is going to be important. We are firing off a Blind Hurricane, right? Like, this is in the sun. So, obviously not ideal situations, but I think if we land it, right, that's huge. Venusaur probably not doing too much here. We do have Foul Play, Yveltal in the back, so right, like Swords Dance isn't the scariest. Swords Dance is very scary. We are going to see a Max coming out here, so that that is fine. It's probably going to be Groudon. That's my best guess. It is going to be Groudon, so this Groudon is going to stay at +1. We can, like I said, bring out Yveltal and just go for a Foul Play. We also do have Rillaboom, so I think it'll really depend on how much damage we do. We did see, because of the Swords Dance, we are going to miss the Hurricane. Everyone is shocked. Because of the Swords Dance, right, there's no Assault Vest. And Groudon Special Defense is kind of terrible. So we do get like a really solid amount of damage, I think, into this Groudon. We also changed the Sun, so that the Venusaur is going to be significantly weaker. We could see a double up into Dialga. The scary... Oh, you're getting rid of Torn. That's scary. That's really scary. That's stopping Tailwind, but you have no... I mean, you got rid of the Sun, so like that's also fine. We're going to see a Sludge Bomb. Okay, into Dialga. We know that we're faster with Dialga, so what we can do is we can bring out Rillaboom. I think Rillaboom is less valuable in this endgame than Incin. I mean, not Incin, Yveltal. We could see the ground. Okay, so what we could see is Venusaur switch out for Incin, which I don't think is unheard of. And so in that regard, I want to Grassy Glide into the Groudon, as well as go for yeah. So I'm gonna click Grassy Glide here, and then I'm gonna Earth Power the Venusaur at the range it's at. Earth Power will get the knockout. It also handles the potential instant switch in, right? Like if you're saying, hey, I want to switch out to get the Intimidate to try and help Groudon live, like this will really help mitigate a lot of that and cover that sort of middle ground play, because I don't need to go for an Ice Beam, and that's like if I can get the knockout onto an instant switch in, that's awesome. We still obviously have to be a little bit weary of Charizard, but right, if we get rid of an instant, that's obviously really great. So I think this is sort of our best play. I do expect, like I said, to see the... Okay, so interesting. Just going straight for the Max Guard. So this was actually, I think, a really good play by my opponent, right? Because now you are getting the free switch into the Incineroar. And so I don't really have a good counterplay to that. I will go for the Protect, though, because this is going to be Groudon's second turn of Max. And if we can get rid of all 3 turns, obviously... that's going to be really a big deal. And so we might lose Dialga, but I don't think that that's the end of the world. We do still obviously have to be a little bit weary of the Charizard in the back, right? Especially if we can get a boost onto it, as we are going to see most likely the Incineroar. It definitely is going to be Incineroar. I can't see any reason. Okay, so it's going to actually be Charizard. So I was wrong. I was wrong. I want to go for Protect here. As a result, I feel like you're going to attack into Charizard, or into thing. I could Roar of Time the Charizard. I could Roar of Time. I'm going to Roar of Time into Charizard. I like the animation. I think it's a fine mid-ground play. It's not really. I want to see the animation for Roar of Time. Every time I see it, it makes me really happy. And you know, like, sometimes it's fine to do things that make you happy, even if it's not necessarily the best option. So Rillaboom, I think it's smart to Protect here, right? We could see a Flare come out from the Groudon, as we're going to see the Heat Wave come out from the Charizard. So that's a really big reveal. It says that you might not have Blast Burn. Dialga going to take it fairly well, just due to the fact that there is so much working against this. Oh, we don't want to knock out the Charizard. You're right. Charizard just going to go down there. Which is great for us. We are going to see probably a Flare come out from... we're going to see a Rockfall. So interesting choice. Maybe calling a Yveltal switch in. Going into the Dialga. So the Dialga going to live here. And you're forced to bring out Incin, and you no longer have access to the Sun, which I don't think is a big deal. I do want to switch out, though, into the... This is tricky. This is actually really tricky because of a lot of things, right? We don't. Okay, let's switch out into. We're gonna see the instant come in. I think I have to switch out into Yveltal. I think okay, so I think you're gonna fake out into Rillaboom and go for a Precipice Blades. So I need to switch out into Yveltal, and yeah, I mean Dialga does nothing. If that's the case, right, we get in Yveltal for free. We can Grassy Glide into the Groudon the subsequent turn, and start going for Oblivion Wings onto the Incin. If you go for no, since if you go for a Rock Slide, Dialga might live. I don't see that happening. But it makes sense, right? I think that fake out into a Precipice Blades is a really safe play for my opponent, and I'm hoping to punish it because they haven't seen what I have in the back, and so I think that this can really sort of swing the tide in our favor, and that's what we really need right now. As we are playing a little bit from behind, I do currently favor my opponent's position. So we are going to see Yveltal come out here. I think we could have gone for damage into. No, I couldn't afford to let Charizard sit on the field. We're going to see a Protect come out from Groudon. So this is actually like the best case scenario. As we're going to see a Flare Blitz, this probably is going into the Yveltal, right? That's what I'm guessing. Yep, we are going to see it go into the Yveltal. Incin is going to take some chip, and so now, right, we know that they are at +1 from the Sword Stance. So what we can do is we can Foul Play into this Groudon, which we're hopefully faster than. I really need us to be fast. Yeah, so if we're faster than the Groudon, we can go for a Foul Play. I'm hoping at +1 we get the knockout, and then we can go for an Earth Power onto this Incineroar. We saw how much it did last time, and so feeling really good. As Earth Power, okay, so this Dialga is the fastest thing on the field, which is really nice to see, right? And I mean, I think at this point, the game is locked up because we do have access to Rillaboom in the back, and so yeah, Foul Play going to come out here. This should be enough for the knockout, as it is. So glad we were able to win on, or end on a win. I think this team is really cool. I'm excited to play more with it and try and use it to the best of its ability. Definitely make sure to check out Kanto Clark's channel. Make sure also to subscribe to mine. We are working our way towards 1 billion subscribers, and we really can't get there without you. And so, yeah, thanks all for coming. And with that, until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.